Sharing Our Planet by Nate Harry, Trent Butterworth, Matt Tinsley, Sean Burton, Griffin Hamilton, and Nicholas Tenenbaum. Deforestation continues to be a growing problem for the environment. Less developed countries such as Indonesia are resorting to cutting down large amounts of trees in order to boost their economy. What they are not aware of, however, is the fact that forests provide the world with shelter, food, and medicines. Each year, approximately 11 to 15 million hectares of tropical forest are lost. Because large amounts of forests are being lost, forests can no longer seclude carbon, which is crucial to fighting global warming. The primary fear is that trees continue to be harvested at a faster rate than natural regrowth, meaning that in years to come, the forest's population could die out. Contrary to popular belief, forest fires are natural. They are good for the forest because they rid it of unnecessary undergrowth. Eventually, the number of trees will stop the fire, and the fire will eventually die out, harming no one. However, with the lack of trees in forests due to deforestation, the fire can continue to spread, which endangers both animal and human life. Forests need to be protected because they become a major source of new goods and services. Roughly 25% of the world's drugs contain ingredients that originate from rainforests, and roughly half of the world's crops originate from tropical forests. Also, forests store more carbon than any terrestrial ecosystem. By clearing forests, carbon is released into the air as carbon dioxide, which proves to damage the environment. Next, we must attend to biodiversity and ecosystem losses. Deforestation is one reason for these losses. Throughout the earth, there are thousands of threats to unique plants, animals, and other living things that are a part of ecosystems all over the world. But why is biodiversity actually important? Apart from aesthetic value, there are many reasons. First of all, many plants and animals play a role in maintaining the balance of chemistry in our atmosphere. Plants and animals also play a role in filtering out pollutants in water supply. In agriculture, biodiversity can help eliminate pests, which hinder crops, and biodiversity in the crops planted can help protect them from disease. A good 40% of pharmaceutical products are made using natural compounds found in wild organisms. So, roughly 60% of these products cannot be manufactured. So let's take a look at what is happening to biodiversity in our world. Roughly 1/8 of known plant species are believed to be on the verge of extinction, and it is believed that in the present day, 140,000 species of different organisms are being lost each year, with nature giving birth to very few during the same time, which are often equally threatened. This is the greatest rate of species lost in all of human history. What causes this loss of biodiversity? Every year for millennia, humans through farming had begun to destroy habitats for many living things by planting in what used to be species habitats and converting all present biomass into human food. With humans now continuing to expand our population at a greater rate and continue pollution, habitats are now being destroyed faster than ever. Human transportation has also begun to destroy many ecosystems. Often, a new species is introduced to an ecosystem by humans and disrupts the balance in an environment between species. In the current age of transportation, species transfer is now occurring more often as well. It is apparent we are losing a significant amount of biodiversity, thus it is necessary for humans to inspect everything we do carefully. We cannot afford to make any more mistakes. Next, we need to look at global warming. It is a consequence of our presence on this earth. Since the beginning of the 20th century, scientists have seen a steady rise in temperatures across the globe. This steady rise in temperature will have violent consequences for both nature and mankind. By 2040, many scientists believe that Antarctica will have its first iceless winter. Destructive hurricanes thrash the coastline as warmer sea temperatures lead to a spike in their numbers. Water levels steadily rise across the globe as polar ice caps disappear and higher amounts of CO2 in the atmosphere coincides with higher temperatures. Fortunately, with both political and personal action, we can reverse the current trends. New technology can stimulate the developing green industry in our economy. Emissions caps would stimulate larger corporations to invest in more efficient technology. For example, according to the EPA, the U.S. acid rain program to reduce sulfur dioxide emissions just cost a fraction of original estimates. However, if corporations do not have any pressure to act, the environment will hurt the economy beyond repair. Rising seas would flood the coast and contaminate water supplies. Heat waves, floods, and droughts would become more severe and throw the agricultural community into turmoil. Taking a short turn from global warming, we find another problem: water deficits. For most people living in North America and Europe, water deficits are noticeable, but we do not see as severe the impact as do others in other continents. Especially in Africa and South America, water deficits have been a problem for quite some time. It is only recently, however, that it is creating a ripple effect throughout the continents, making this a growing problem on an exponential scale. Water is a necessity for life, and it is becoming harder and harder to find in some areas. There is a growing number of places without access to clean water because of not only the environmental issues, but of issues with politics as well. Water has become the new oil in some countries, with companies and governments capitalizing off of the people's everyday needs. Oil is something most people can live without, but water is something that must be present for survival. We are not necessarily losing our fresh water to the warming of the planet, but because of the way it is taken, rationed, and used. Now, we need to look at the consequences of fishery depletion. As of today, fishing stocks are already 20% of their former numbers and are still at risk of extinction. Fish like cod and tuna are hit hardest by this, while the surrounding environment gets impacted by their absence. As fisheries become depleted by excessive fishing, the world would see unemployment in the fishing industry and a shaken undersea environment. The public needs to suggest limiting the amount of fishing in international waters. By suggesting the use of nets with smaller catching radii and limiting the amount of fish taken in by each boat, an international effort must be made to preserve commercial fishing stocks and also the industry around them for the sake of both humans and the environment. That leads us to our polluted oceans. Among the 20 issues we have to solve rapidly, the problem about maritime pollution and safety has an important place, especially because there is a lot to do. The new global economy highly increased the traffic on our oceans and seas, and unfortunately, often caused an increase of disasters against them too. You may think that you're not affected, but the truth is you are. In fact, it is true that you're probably not responsible for all these attacks on the environment, but you still have a responsibility to fight them. The oil spills are made by the boats which transport petrol, U.S. petrol. The polluted waters come from domestic products. And even simple plastic bags, which kill thousands of animals each year, are produced at local grocery stores. Because everyone is a part of the economy. Everyone is a part of this problem. When a disaster occurs in the ocean, it spreads everywhere. One day, at our current pace, it will become too late. So it comes to this: be responsible. If we join together through a common cause, we have the opportunity to better our sick world.